Hello everyone, this is Terry with Futures.io, and as always, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. It is my pleasure to welcome back Morad Askar and Max Timmons from Edge Clear for today's webinar, introducing Edge Pool's prop pricing model. Throughout the webinar, if you have questions, please feel free to type them in the questions box. We'll do our best to answer them throughout the event. This webinar will be recorded and posted on the Futures.io website within 24 to 48 hours. If you're watching this afterwards on YouTube, please do us a favor and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed our webinar. And as always, please feel free to share, comment, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. For trading news, events, and information, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter using @Futures.io. And now, without further delay, I'll hand it over to Morad, and you'll get the pop-up again.
Cool. Here we go.
Hi.
Everybody see my slide here?
Yep, looks good. She's all yours.
Thanks, and thanks everyone for connecting. Again, this is Morad Askar, Futures Trader 71. I want to remind everyone that trading derivatives is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. We were on in April. Big Mike invited us on to talk about what Edge Clear is, and a lot of you attended. That's very much appreciated. And I want to start off by just going over what we'll cover, including an update on what we've done over the last couple months, who Edge Clear is, and an update, what are Edge pools, we'll talk about advantages for the online trader, overview of the rules to participate, things you must know about Edge pools, and of course, we'll take any questions. Max Timmons is on here with me. Max is the Director of Brokerage Services. He's essentially running the brokerage at Edge Clear, and he's in charge of making sure this program runs smoothly. So let's start out with who we are. Edge Clear is an independent, a fully registered independent futures brokerage here in Chicago. We're in our offices in the financial district downtown, and we bring a ton of experience. We have an award-winning team. In fact, the award comes from Futures.io a few years back. The same team is here, Max Timmons, Ian Blanky, and Kevin McGee. These names may sound familiar to you. And the goal for Edge Clear is to properly, this time, provide what are innovative solutions to the online trader. Our focus is really to bring as much of the edge, the infrastructure and execution and other edges to the online trader, the independent online trader, such as you guys, as you would get at a prop shop or an institution. Okay, and this product called Edge Pools is one of a kind. We created it, and that's what it seeks to do. So that's what Edge Clear is. Our website is edgeclear.com. It's at the bottom left corner, and our phone numbers are there as well on every slide. First of all, we want to do a quick update. I'm not going to spend very much time on this. The key thing to catch up on is we have multiple clearing partners. We clear Philip Capital, who's been tremendous so far. We clear Iron Beam, we clear Dorman Trading, and we also have a relationship with Advantage Futures. We also are introducing a podcast that is run by Ian Blanky and Kevin McGee that is called Behind the Screens. This podcast is definitely an interesting product because it brings, it'll be launched here in the next couple weeks or week or so. It basically sheds a light on what it is like to trade, but also be a personal broker. It's really a candid discussion of the journey of a broker who also trades. So both Kevin and Ian are brokers, but they've also watched online traders trade, and they kind of have learned over time what the pitfalls are and so on. So they'll share their experience, and they'll have guests on to share their experience as well. That's a new podcast called Behind the Screens. We also have a part where we're a sponsor at Futures.io. We're very happy with that. I've known Big Mike for must be now going on 12 or 13 years, and think very highly of him and his values and the community. We are in the process of developing proprietary performance software that tracks trader performance. We want to launch that as soon as possible. We're always developing something. So that's on its way. We're also a launch partner with the small exchange. We've been working with them for over 6-7 months now before the launch, before they even got approved. And we're a big advocate for their product. We believe that that it brings more opportunity, more options to the futures industry, especially the online trader. We have a 24-hour emergency global trade desk now. And finally, we also have a service that the brokers offer, which is a free exchange membership consultation and evaluation. So if you're an active trader, it would really pay off in sometimes even the thousands or tens of thousands a year in savings to consider this consultation. Again, you can go to edgeclear.com and request to speak to someone. So, Max, you're on.
Thank you, Morad, and thanks everyone for joining. You know, we're going to dive right into it. Edge pools is why you came here. The objective of this program, why we built it, is to help reduce traders' commission costs, to reward traders for participating, and to create a tighter camaraderie and a community. However, before we get into it, I do want to make this perfectly clear. We do not want traders to feel like they have to trade while being a member in this group or in any group. We are not asking our traders to execute orders that they do not feel comfortable with. You are starting out with a very competitive commission rate and an outstanding service provided by Edge Clear and the brokers here. And if the threshold is not reached, then we believe that there is no disadvantage to participating. All right. Now, we encourage you, you could switch the slides, Morad. Oh, there we go. Mm-hmm. We encourage you to sign up during this current open enrollment. We're gonna, with Futures.io, the way we talked about it. A question came up back in April where they said, could we do an commission, or at the time it was commission pools, but now it's edge pools, with the entire group of Futures.io, which kind of caught us off guard, and we had to think about it for a bit. So I know a lot of you have been asking. So what we've decided is having an open enrollment type structure. So every month we'll have an open enrollment. We encourage you to create a thread for your group on Futures.io and focus on being more accountable to each other. Assist one another as a tribe, be more of a group, just help one another. That's a big goal of this, not only to reward traders, but just to form a group of traders that feel like they're members that are just there to help one another. That's a big portion of why we created this. And we're going to go into the,
mm-hmm. So you don't have to, we promote community and we promote accountability. You don't have to create a thread to be a part of the Edge Pool program. Correct. We'll go over the rules in a minute, but we don't want to make it sound like you have to kind of create a journal or something. You don't have to do anything except to meet the minimum requirements of the program, which we'll cover in a minute.
Absolutely.
So let me see. So how do you benefit as a trader? The main advantage is you don't need to haggle or shop for price. You don't need to worry about getting a good rate. Regardless of how active or inactive you are, you're going to start out with a very, very competitive rate. So the baseline is, because you're coming in as a group, you're getting a kind of a Costco deal, so to speak, as an Edge Clear pool participant or member. There's no requirement for you to come and find out what the rate is and find out, what transaction fees and hidden costs are there. All of that is eliminated. Imagine you are joining a prop shop and you got accepted in, and now you're showing up on the first day, you're taking a seat at your desk, and now you want to trade. You're not going to sit there and haggle over price and what things cost. It's just, that the cost has been worked out to your advantage, at least in a proper prop shop. and this is kind of the same idea. Does everybody understand this? I want to make sure that you're following along as to what we're building here. So the first thing we want to do is help you understand that you benefit by not having to shop price or talk to anybody to get the best price possible to start out with. Everyone qualifies in your group. So as long as there's a group, and we'll go over the rules here in a minute, what constitutes a group, you qualify. It's if you're still simulating, if you're doing this or that, that's none of our business what you're doing with your trading. As long as you come in with a group, you qualify into this program. As I said, the starting cost is low, and that's why Max was just saying that we don't want to entice you to trade more in order to reach a threshold to start trading at almost wholesale, close to wholesale prices, essentially close to what we have to pay for the service for clearing the trades. But you're still starting out with at a low cost. So there's no disadvantage to just creating an edge pool or joining an edge pool, because you're automatically qualified at a pretty good rate. But once you reach a threshold of volume, which is what the program is about, once you reach a threshold, the prices are pretty much unheard of. We simply drop the cost to a point where, for the remaining period of the pool of the program for that year, you're essentially trading at costs that normally would be reserved for bigger traders or prop groups and things like that. So, Max,
now we get into the rules. Yep. Now we get into the rules. So, an edge pool must consist of 5 traders or more. The pool is reset on a 365-day scale. So every year it resets. We could renegotiate, look at what you've done, and reassess after the full year. You can add members. You can create new groups. You can split off. It's on a 360-day scale. Trades taken before edge pool start dates are credited to that year. And we'll go a little more into detail about that later. An edge pool participant must be at the same FCM. So must be at the same FCM. Each private edge pool will have a single point of contact, and edge pools cannot be mixed. For example, you can be a part of both pool structures, micro and non-micro, which we'll go again in a little bit. However, the volume will be counted towards the specific pool you are in. Meaning, if you are in a micro-only pool, micro contracts cannot be counted towards the non-micro pool. Please also note that you can use any platform that runs on Rhythmic and or CQG Web API. However, fees may differ using any other data provider.
Okay.
And the things to note, unfortunately at this time, Canadian traders are not currently eligible. We are working on this. We're trying to find a solution for the Canadian traders out there. I know there's a lot of you, and I know it's probably the worst slide you can see right now, but we are working on it. If a trader does drop out, then his or her volume will be removed from that threshold, and that threshold will be reduced to accommodate the members in that group. Members of our Edge pool will receive notification of the usernames of the other participating members, so you can connect through futures.io.
Right. So just a couple things to highlight here. There's a threshold that's set up depending on how many participants there are in a group, just like we would for a prop shop. And if somebody decides to drop off at some point, then we simply remove the amount of volume that they've contributed to that pool to get it to the threshold, but we'll also reduce the threshold that has to be met to compensate for that, to make sure that the rest of the team, the rest of the pool, the rest of the participants in the pool are not impacted towards their goal. Okay. Again, I just want to highlight again that our costs includes what I think is the top data feed out there, Rhythmic, as well as CQG Web API, CQG Web. These are very solid platforms, and you're starting out with an excellent group rate anyway. So you don't need to worry about who's going to drop out. I don't know if I want to join. I don't know if I can continue for a year. It doesn't really it doesn't really matter. The fact is you're coming in and this is giving you an opportunity at, potentially more than halving the cost, the commission cost, which is all we can control. Your cost includes exchange fees, NFA, and sometimes with others, transaction fees and so forth. We don't charge transaction fees. We control the cost, and that's the area that we can adjust, and that's the area we're adjusting. We're simply sharing our ability to get wholesale prices with all of the members at Futures.io. The next thing so as an example, just to make sure everybody understands, since we're all working with numbers all day long, let's say a pool of 5 participants has a threshold of 10,000 contracts for the year before their threshold kicks in, and they move into kind of the, let's quote it, wholesale rate. And let's say trader A executes 1,000 contracts the first month, and B, C, D, and E execute 500 contracts each. So the group so far in the first month has executed 3,000 contracts or sides. This is not round turns, just to be clear. When I say contracts, we're talking sides. So a round turn is 2 sides. So this is the equivalent of 5,000 round turns in a year. So the group has done 3,000 sides, which means they have about 7,000 more sides to go to get to the 10,000 contract threshold. Then trader A decides to close her account. Some life circumstances, issues, whatever, decides, okay, I'm out. So she's already traded 1,000 the first month. What we do is we remove the 1,000 contracts that were contributed, but we also divide up the threshold, which is about 2,000 per member in this case. As an example, it's not always that. We also remove her what her threshold, what her contribution is to the point, and the threshold level is adjusted to accommodate the other members. Now, an Edge pool has to have a minimum of 5 people to get started. We understand circumstances change, and we understand that things have to, people drop and so on. So we may end up starting with a group of 5 and finishing with a group of 4. We don't want that. We want the group to stay together, but it doesn't mean we disqualify the pool and close it at that point. You're still getting credit for the remaining duration, whatever that duration is, for the contracts that you've traded. Okay. Let me pause for a second here and make sure. Let me ask you: does anybody have? Does everybody follow at this point what an Edge pool is? Just say yes. 1 person follows, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So just let us know. We want to make sure we're.
Now, I do want to just note that this is an example right here. So this does not represent the exact numbers. So we try to make it as easy as possible with some simple numbers.
Right.
So now to get to the rules, go on with the rules, is we have 2 programs. We have a non-micro contract pool, Edge pool, which means it's basically any contract that you can have access to is all counted towards the non-micro Edge pool. And then we have an Edge pool for the micro indices and small exchange only. And those pools are only going to be the micro indices or contracts on the small exchange. Now, like I said earlier, you could be in both Edge pools. If you have 2 groups and you want to have one for non-micros and micro indices and small exchange, that's totally fine. However, we cannot count the micro indices or small exchange contracts towards the non-micro pool and vice versa.
Okay.
Now, open enrollment starts in the middle of the current month for next month. For example, August Edge pools enrollment will be posted to this thread on or near July 22nd. In the future, we will end each enrollment month 2 weeks prior to the end of the month. Most likely, this will fall on the 15th of each month. Once the open enrollment period ends, traders will need to get their applications finished and funded before the 1st of the month to take advantage of the entire year. If your account is open and funded prior to the 1st, all volume traded after the 15th will be included in the 365-day schedule. Now, also keep in mind there is a contract for this as well. So we do need, along with the account application and funding an account, we will have a contract that we send to everyone that we would need to get returned back before the 1st of every month to be eligible for that enrollment period. And once your contact info is submitted, the commission rates assigned to your commission pool are sent to the email submitted. The total threshold for each pool will be calculated once the current enrollment period ends. Due to the fact that we chose to do an open enrollment period with Futures.io, we felt that was the easiest way. That we can't actually calculate the total threshold until everything is in. Then we get a better understanding of who's participating, how many people are participating, who's in a micro pool, who's in a non-micro pool. And at that point, before the 1st of the month, we'll hopefully return that information to everyone in the group. And then if people want to, stay or drop at that point, we'll reassess. And by the 1st of the month, we hope to have everything squared away for the 365-day period.
Okay. So, yeah. So
that's
register.
That's the link right there. myed.ge, /futures.io. No period in Futures.io. When you get to there, it'll direct you to our open enrollment period or page for Futures.io. At the bottom, you'll see frequently asked questions. You'll see a micro commission pool registration, and you'll see a edge pool registration as well, which edge pool registration is just every contract outside of the micros, and then the micro edge pool is just micros only, and then the FAQ is a lot of frequently asked questions that will be a living, breathing document. I'm sure we'll update that tab by sometime tomorrow with all the questions we'll probably get. I'm sure there's a lot of questions that we haven't even thought of. So that's going to be, there it is.
Yeah, so this is the, if you go to that link, Edge, myed.ge, it's just a shortened link, /Futures.io. It'll bring you to this page here, which explains a little bit what a pool is and walks you through the registration process. And we will collect these and let everybody know within that open enrollment period who qualifies, and we'll send you all the details that Max said, including an agreement. There are 2 tabs here. One is for the standard pool, which means any electronic products. So if you're trading corn, soybean, crude, whatever, versus micro indices and the smalls have their own pool, as we had discussed. And of course, there's a 3rd tab here with FAQ questions, and we will continue to grow and elaborate on this as questions come in. Okay. So the last thing is, how does the group know that what their volume is? Go ahead, Max.
So yeah, like I'm sure you're all asking yourself, how will the entire group know the total volume? Well, what we're going to do is we'll send the total breakdown of volume per group at some point during the 1st week of every month. Now, there might be delays, but the goal is the 1st week of every month, meaning your group's total volume will be calculated for August during the 1st week of September. We will then send that number to every group member once calculated. Just so you know, we will not send a breakdown of each member's volume, only the entire group. We're only looking at the full threshold, the entire group's volume. Once the group is getting close to that volume threshold, maybe 1,000 contracts till we hit it, we will generate that total volume daily. And then when are the rates discounted once the threshold is met? Once the threshold is met, the entire group receives a discounted commission rate the following day. So once that day ends, we hit it, we send in a request to lower the entire group's commission rate to, like Morad said, the wholesale rates, and the following day you take advantage until the end of the 365-day period.
Right. Okay, very cool. So that's that, and that brings us to the end here so we can take some questions. I know this is a very quick presentation here, but obviously the longer we talk, the more boring it's going to sound. So
Yeah.
we want to bring you this program because we're excited about it. I think it's a good innovation, and it's the first of its kind. And let's just hop in now and do the just answer some of these questions. So Max, I'm going to hit you with these questions as they've come along. How's Edge Pool different from NinjaTrader or Phillip or Dorman?
Well, the Edge Pool is different because, for one, you're starting off with a rate that's comparable to all of those firms. We have the first threshold. The starting rate is right on par with every single one of the firms you just described. The difference is once that group receives or hits that threshold, that commission rate significantly drops to a rate that you probably will not ever see in this industry. I'm telling you, it's going to be low. Not many, if not no, brokerage firms will probably offer that rate as well. So
Right.
that's the difference.
If the person who's asked this, I won't say her name, but if you're asking how is Edge Clear different from NinjaTrader or Phillip or Dorman, we're simply a different introducing broker.
Yes.
An innovator. We see ourselves as an innovator and an experienced innovator in the industry. Next question is this a prop shop thing, meaning you fund us as a group, or is this a tournament? Sorry, but I don't even know what this is. Does everyone have their own account, and are the results added up?
Makes total sense. This is not a prop firm where we fund each member of the group. We're bringing in the prop, and I don't know, what do you say, Morad? It's the prop.
I'd say the prop environment or prop
yeah.
deal. It's a prop type of deal. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
When I opened my prop trading account, my first individual account, at the time it was with Advantage Futures when they first opened. The deal for my shop was, okay, for each one of your traders, you're starting out at a specific rate, like a shelf rate, a standard professional trading group rate. And once you've contributed $16,000 in commissions only, then your entire group drops to the wholesale rate, very, very, very low rate. That's how it normally works for prop groups, because the clearers want to cover their risk and cover their overhead early on at a very competitive rate, and they want to, reward the prop shop owners and the traders within that prop shop for having the business there. This is basically what we're doing, but you don't need to be a prop trader. You don't need to be a professional or anything like that. And you can still benefit from this. This is what we're bringing to the table, just our prop experience in the industry, hands-on experience. We're not just a brokerage. We're a brokerage with a lot of trading experience and industry experience. So that's the difference. Next question, what platform can we use to trade?
Any platform that runs on Rhythmic or CQG Web API. There's a lot of third-party charting packages out there, or just regular charting, or just desktop platforms as well, that can run on Rhythmic and or CQG Web API. So anything that runs on those two feeds, you can use with Edge Clear through the Edge Pool.
And that's to say that that doesn't mean that if you don't have CQG or you don't have Rhythmic, then you don't participate, but your pricing is going to now change, right? Your pricing, there may be additional transaction fees are going to be charged to you individually on your account because you're on something else like TT or something that has a higher fee, a higher transaction fee, where it's simply including the costs of CQG Web and Rhythmic in our pricing structure. So when you do get your pricing package or your commission rate, just remember that if you went to an equivalent to another firm, if you went direct to the clearing firm or if you went to another brokerage, you're going to need to add the cost of the transaction fee, which is often not clear up front. You can use any platform to do this.
Now, and just to kind of point this out as well, is that's how Edge Clear tries to quote any commission rate out there. We believe in simplicity. We believe that there should not be a worry from the trader's end to see what transaction fees are added to my account. We want to bundle that up to make it as easy as possible. Here's the commission. All you have to think about is exchange fees, NFA fees. Now that may vary per platform, obviously, but we work with it on Rhythmic and CQG Web API. We try to include it all in our commission. So all you see on your statements is exchange fees, NFA fees, and commission.
Right. That's why when we quote our micro deal, we say 98 cents all in. All of your costs, exchange fees, the whole bundle is, you can trade it for 98 cents on Rhythmic, which is a 25-cent transaction fee per side. But it's all, our price is bundled in. So it's very, very simple, okay? So how is a group created? Is it random? I missed how it's made.
It's through open enrollment. So myed.ge/futures.io, go there. For this month, it's already open, July open enrollment. You sign up in there. And when we gather all that information up, it'll take, I think, the ending date for this open enrollment will be July 22nd. In the presentation, in the future date, we pointed out that it'll probably be the 15th of every month to give us 2 weeks to kind of get everything straightened out before the start of the 365-day year. But just go to that URL right there. You can sign up at the bottom, and broker out here, Kevin or Ian, will reach out to you and kind of walk you through, answer any questions. You can also just put in there's a message box. If you have any questions, you can submit them in there as well.
Okay. Where did I, hang on, I just lost my spot here. Are calculations based on per capita or per person?
It'll be based on per person in the group.
Right. Why wouldn't all Futures IO members be in one pool?
Well, we would love to have 50 to 100,000 members in our original pool, but when that question came up back in was it April, kind of threw us off guard a little bit, and we realized we can't just come out with a one Edge pool throughout the year and have members join throughout the year. It's just going to turn into a nightmare on my side trying to figure out everything. So we came up with the idea to just have an open enrollment where every month we'll create a new we'll create a new web page. I'll post it in our AMA thread of through Futures IO, and we'll just state open enrollment for September, open enrollment for October. So if you miss out and say you're not trading at the moment and you don't want to join right now in July, there'll be one in August, there'll be one in September, there'll be one in October, and so on. So you could join now, you could join in December. We're going to keep this going. And it's just the 365-day period starts when that open enrollment ends, or 2 weeks after, that month after. So it doesn't matter if you sign up now or if you kind of hold off and you're taking the summer off and you're getting back in the fall. You could also sign up in the fall.
Right, but just always remember that if we don't have 5 people minimum, then that pool will not take place the following month, right? So, so we need 5 people minimum. So can anyone belong to a pool, or do you have to bring 5 people to join? And that's basically what we talked about. If you want to have a private pool, or not wait for open enrollment through FIO, and you're not even a part of FIO, let's say, you can just start a pool at any point by bringing 4 other people with you. Is this for new Edge Clear accounts, or if we have an Edge Clear account, can we join a pool?
I'm sure we could figure something out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really open for anybody as long as you meet the criteria. Can you explain what the small exchange means at some point? The small exchange is a new exchange. You may not have heard of it. It's a new exchange that launched in April, I believe, that is focused on building micro style contracts that are unique, and it's something that's actually running right now. You can find them at smallexchange.com, and you can learn about what they're doing there. It's a brand new exchange that is designed for the individual online trader. Question for the end of the webinar: do you support Sierra Chart Denali data feed through any of your FCMs?
Yes, we do.
Absolutely, yes. And our cost, I think, is lower than others as far as I know. For those of us with an account currently, we've answered that. You can apply as long as you meet the criteria. Yes, the July 22nd cutoff date is for the August 1st pool, is for the August Edge pool, and then the September Edge pool will terminate. The open enrollment will terminate on August 15th, and it'll be from the 15th to the 15th of the month going forward. We're just making an exception for this month to give traders more time, since we've lost a week already. Do traders have to bring their own pool members? Can they join an existing pool? Yeah, we answered that. You can join an existing pool, but you can
also bring members.
You should be bringing people. You should be bringing people, because what we can't do is say, oh, become a matching service, right? Oh, can you add me to a pool that's open? We don't know which pools are open. We simply know that unless you're doing it through open enrollment of Futures.io, private pools, pools by individuals, little groups, that's maybe a Discord channel or Skype group or Slack group or something like that. They're kind of running a private pool, and we can't just add you in there. So it's best to talk to others who are interested and to bring them along, and that's the goal here. How does Edge Clear benefit from this?
Well, we benefit from multiple things. We benefit from a community working together. That's the goal of this, is to kind of form camaraderie and membership and just a group of traders to help one another. But like we said earlier, you don't have to be part of that. You can just join a group and not take part of it. And then, we, on the other side of that, we make, commissions, and we know what, we want to do, what we need in terms of revenue to put back into Edge Clear to, build on Edge Clear, and that's all we need. So we want to reward our traders when that price is met and give them a lower rate. The goal of this is to build on Edge Clear. We want to build more software. We're always developing, like Morad said. So, the only way that Edge Clear or any brokerage firm really out there creates revenue is through commission, and that's how it works in this industry. So we figured out what we need and the amount we need per year, per trader, per month, and that's it. We don't want to, kind of overcharge and continue it. We want to build some sort of firm that is, group-oriented, member-oriented, and just trying to offer more. Mark, do you want to comment a little more?
So I'll break it down to this. One, this goes in line with our vision, and a vision that I've shared here with Futures.io members since I came online, and that is to bring traders together. I believe traders do better as a group. One of the biggest advantages of being in a prop firm or an institution, at least in my experience, because I've always traded in that kind of environment, or I grew up in that kind of environment, is the togetherness. There's a lot of learning and a lot of accountability and stuff in the togetherness. And I'm gonna be perfectly transparent with you here when I say that the more people that join, the more we have capacity to build tools to bring people together and create services that help traders. And these services are perfectly in line with what Big Mike's building with Futures.io. And so we are doing this to bring people together. How do we benefit from this? We broaden our brand as a serious player in the field that is really looking out for traders. It's less work, right? Because You come in, we don't have to quote 1,000 people differently. We just know that this is a pool and this is their rate, and it's so much easier. Why does Costco exist? It's because they buy in bulk and then they sell it to you at a lower rate. We're doing the exact same thing. This is kind of like the Costco model without you having to buy a membership to benefit. You just have to bring people with you. And so that's how we benefit. We can go out and acquire one trader at a time in the open market, but if we have a partner and we have a long time partnership with Futures IO, like I've said, I've had a long time relationship with Big Mike, we can offer this to everybody and reduce our costs, reduce the resources needed, but also be able to build our business even stronger by having people participate, right? Because why would you trade somewhere else when you have this deal that is very reasonable and brings everybody together? Can I submit for both pools? Yes, you can. I'm going to run through these real quick because we're approaching an hour. Can I submit for both pools? Yes, you can. You'd have to, if you're trading both crude and say a micro, you have to be in both pools. What is the FCM? The preferred FCM here is Phillip Capital. We have the infrastructure there to be able to manage these pools efficiently, and I think they're an outstanding firm. Not only are they outstanding in what they offer here in the United States in Chicago, but they have a global desk in Singapore. They have first-rate support and 24-hour oversight and desk, and I think the services are just outstanding. The people have been outstanding so far.
Does not mean we can't do it though with Iron Beam or Dormant.
Yeah, it's open for others, but it's our preferred is Phillip. What are the rates? The rates are really dependent. How would you answer that, Max?
Well, if you sign up through myed.ge/futuresio, you'll find out.
Right. It's something we're working on constantly. So it's just a function of how many people are in the pool.
Did you say rates or did you say threshold?
No, rates.
Rates, yep. Fill out that form and you'll see an email.
Is this for day traders only, no swing traders?
Could be both.
Could be both. It's just a function of volume. Right? It's not that high. The threshold's not that high, in my opinion. Does it integrate with an existing account at Phillip Capital? It does. We would have to have you request to transfer your account to Edge Clear so that we can see what you're doing. We cannot, as a broker, we can't see what you're doing elsewhere. Did you talk about commission already? We covered that just a minute ago. How many people do you expect to have on each pool? We want a minimum of 5. We don't really have a cap. It's a good problem to have too many. So we don't really know. Just if it's you and 4 other people, that's all we need. Look, if you have 5 people or 50 people, it doesn't impact the threshold all that much. So we're doing it as we answered before, it's on a per capita basis. So there isn't a lot of pressure to just add more people, but the more people that come along, the better, right? So let's say you trade 60 to 150 round turns in ES. What would be the different savings, for example? Oof. I don't know how to compute that on the fly because I guess
if you reach out to us, we'll put that question out in our form so we have your contact information that we could reach out to you. We'll calculate some stuff or answer that question as best as we can. But right now I can't calculate.
I sent you our contact sheet. You can just do that. Can we use TOS or NinjaTrader to trade?
TOS, no. You can use their charts and execute through Edge Clear using, say, maybe an RTrader platform. So it's just your kind of a normal depth of market DOM, and then using TOS as your charts. Actually, you'll probably save quite a bit of money, and someone's probably reaching out to us right now, which I need to quiet. But
yeah. So TOS has their own front end as well, and they're a competing brokerage. So if you like TOS charts, you can use their charts. If you like Ninja charts, you can use Ninja charts. and trade with us. Ninja is special though. In Ninja, I believe we can open a Ninja account completely, and so you can have everything with us in one place. And it would you would have to be a grandfathered member from, when is it, to July 2015 or something like that?
I think it's March 2015 or July or June 2014, depending on the data you are using.
Yeah, so it's if you've been with them that long, you're more than welcome to apply. You're more than welcome to come over as an individual. We're happy to have anybody here as an individual, and we would extend competitive rates to them as well. Somebody's asking, convergent trading is included? No, it's not. Convergent trading is a completely different entity. I founded both, but that's a whole different other service that's not a part of this conversation. Is there a maximum number of traders allowed in a given pool? We answered that. This is offering a prop rate and advantages. Yes. I'm not sure what you mean. It seeks to offer prop rates. Yes. The advantages we did cover in a slide. And don't forget that as this grows, if we get strong participation here, we're able to offer more and more, just like Walmart, Costco, any other business. Now, we don't run ourselves that way, but you know, the more volume we have, the more we're capable of supporting you as a trader, and we know how to do it. We're very good at understanding what the issues are for traders and to address those. Someone here is quoting AMP and their round trip fees for MES with CQG. It would get, I don't know if it'll get lower than this rate, but I invite you to just reach out. I don't believe that's a correct AMP rate, but here I'm going to give you our contact sheet, and you can contact us. I would be happy to let you know where that stands. Remember, the advantage here is not just the rate. The advantage here is you're benefiting from other people's trading activity. Where can you go right now where you're getting credit for other people's trading activity? That doesn't exist anywhere today, right? With my current situation with EC, I'm trading the micros at a really good rate already. So is this something I could benefit from? I'm a Futures IO member as well as a Convergent member. Yes, you can. You can definitely benefit from combining all these. You will get a lower rate if the threshold is hit by the pool. It's lower than our 98 cent per round trip micro rate once you hit the threshold, believe it or not. Does Edge Clear have a platform? Edge Clear has supports many different platforms. We answered the question about NinjaTrader, so we're good here. Is convergent trading still out there? Yes, it is. It's going strong. It's growing. So right now the MAS is 98 cents per round turn. What would the rate be roughly once the volume threshold is met? Half that. Well, half of that will put you.
Fill out that form and you'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, half of that will put you below below any conceivable
You may or
rate.
may not receive an automated message right after with that rate. I'm just saying.
Will participation endanger my non-professional status? No, it has nothing to do with it. We do.
Nope.
This does not impact
Great
your
question,
netting. Yeah, that's probably a good one for the FAQ.
Yep.
This has nothing to do with your real-time data. You're using what you're using. You'll have the same services. It doesn't affect your netting. It doesn't affect your professional status. Nothing like that. This is an individual product. You're just coming in as part of a group. Okay. Do current traders with Edge Clear Brokerage need to fund a new account? We answer that you do not. You just have to be in a pool. It's not an issue if you're already a member. By the way, if you're a member of Edge Clear, thank you. You've supported us early in the process, and we want to thank you for that and recognize that you've done that. We appreciate it. Can you select the 5 people in your pool to ensure they have the activity trading history that can contribute to the threshold? Absolutely. You can go out and find those people. Heck, you can start a thread on FIO saying, hey, if your volume is above X, reach out to me. I want to start a pool. We don't care if you do that. We don't care. It's
you
up
can come to us and start your own pool. It's to us, doesn't matter.
How can an individual join a group? You can do it through open enrollment at FIO and potentially other partners, or you can just ask around to other traders to find out what's available.
There's also a commission pool page on our website outside of the Futures IO. Just to answer that question, obviously, if you're part of Futures IO, we'd love for you to be part of the Futures IO open enrollment. But there is a link on our website. I think it's the hamburger menu. Click commissions, and you'll see Edge pools in there. If you want to form your own, you can as well.
If we have not decided on an FCM, is there one that would be more advantageous in terms of the numbers of traders that use that FCM? I'm going to start with this. Is there one group per FCM? The group has to all be at the same FCM because we can't pull your rates at different FCMs, right? Because they're different deals, different packages from different FCMs. You need to be at the same FCM. Is there an advantage to being with any given FCM? Each FCM is unique and different, but we believe that we have really strong partners, and the broker's job is to make sure you're at the best possible solution. So there's, some FCMs can accommodate.
Yeah, it's broker's job to make sure, there's, like Morad said, each FCM offers its own advantage. Some FCMs may not offer specific contracts while the others will. Some may not accept certain countries that others will. So, it's the broker's job to figure out what your needs and wants are, and we direct you to the clearing firm that we believe is best for you. And if there's, that goes, it's the same with all pools as well. If, a group comes in, we talk to the group, which one thing we didn't mention is, we're floating around the idea of, having a group leader type deal. It's something that I've thought about. It's actually in our FAQ. We would like to have a group leader, a spokesperson for the group. So if there's someone that's forming a group, that person may be a perfect opportunity to be that spokesperson. I don't know if we're going to mandate that, but that is an idea floating around, and that would be, essentially, we would work with you to figure out which clearing firm works best, and then you would report to the group and then come back, all right, we want this.
Right, and by the way, that spokesperson has no power of attorney or any power to decide. They're simply just managing the group as a manager. They're making sure that information is going to the right group members and things like that. It would be nice to have a single point of contact. I see 3 brokerages in your portal. How does this integrate with them? The Edge pool could be at any one of these FCMs, depending on what the group's needs are. Okay. Can you gather random individuals together as a group? Absolutely. If you can put them together, we will, and they qualify. In other words, there are no issues with opening an account with us. You're golden. We want to support you in your trading, so we don't have any restrictions on who these traders are. Is there a minimum investment?
Minimum is $5,000 for non-micros, $1,500 for micros only.
Right, it's just standard for all of our accounts. Data fees for Rhythmic. The data fees are just standard. You have to pay for CME data if you subscribe, depending on level 1 or level 2 data. It's the same fees that you would see.
And if you're referring to the multiple logins for Rhythmic, we have a great knowledge base on our website. You can search up just Support Center. Support Center, go to Rhythmic. We have a great Support Center on this. So if you're looking for articles to kind of walk you through what the multiple logins and being deemed a professional is, I know we're getting a little off topic, but we do offer a free Support Center for our traders. So actually, it's for the public. So we don't even limit it to our traders. But as questions or important information comes in the industry, we then put it on the Support Center for everyone to have access to.
So minimum account size has been covered, and we're getting close to wrapping up here. What do you suggest for traders that is mainly trading the micros? Very simple. You just see who else is trading the micros and join that group, or apply in the open enrollment, and we'll just match you with everybody else at FIO who's part of the micro Edge pool. It's not a problem. Futures IO is an online community board that's existed now for, I don't know, Terry, I have no idea. I think it's been around for as Futures IO, I think, for the last 7 years, and as Big Mike for the last 10 years, Big Mike Trading.
Yeah. And one more thing I do want to, there's some questions coming in on our end, from the brokers that reach out to me. And, I want to make it perfectly clear, we do not have a threshold available for the open enrollment of July. The reason why is because we don't know how many people are going to be in it yet. So once the group comes together, it's a very reasonable threshold. I promise you that. It's a very reasonable threshold. We're not looking to make $1 million over here off of, one trader, but very reasonable, but we cannot provide the full-blown threshold until the group is formed, which come July 22nd, we should have a better understanding of the entire group's availability. So my suggestion to everyone out there is sign up now. If again, the rates, if you fill out that form, you'll see the rates, and I truly believe the initial rate you see, remember it's all in, it's very reasonable. So you could join now, take advantage of that rate, and then be a member of the pool. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. We will provide a breakdown of the entire threshold. Just can't do it now. However, it is a very competitive starting rate.
Mm-hmm. So I think what we'll do is, Terry, I think it's probably best to wrap this, and for us to just take some of these questions and put them in our one of our threads, just to kind of wrap things up here. I see some repeating questions like what are the prices and so on, but at the bottom line is just apply, and you'll get that all that information based on who else is applying and what we expect, and we'll give you access. Give you access to that information. Just simply apply it. It's really not much of a commitment on your part. And you do, if you have not heard of Edge Clear, this is an opportunity to work with us. How are we different than AMP, which has, say, a lower quoted rate for the micros? The difference is we don't have as high a minimum equity stake to open an account. And I mean, what can I tell you? I'm a competitor. I'm a trader and a competitor, and I'm going to tell you that we're better. So that's just my opinion. We're better. Our brokers are better. You'll be assigned a personal broker at Edge Clear. It's one of the key things is you're not going to run through a phone system. You'll be assigned a personal broker who will get to know you and understand your needs. We're constantly innovating, and we support a very large variety of platforms and so on, and we'll continue to grow and innovate as the time goes by. So if there are questions here that have not been answered that you feel are crucial, please find our thread on Futures IO. Just search for Edge Clear and ask the question there, and we'll be sure to respond as quickly as possible. Okay.
There's also a message section on this link that if you have questions, just fill it out. Again, there's no, you're not committing to anything by submitting that form, but you could submit questions and get more, answers from us.
Yeah, and we won't spam you or sell your name or do anything like that. So feel free to answer, and you don't lose much by applying, to be honest with you. If the rate's better, great. If it's not, then we hope to win your business some other way. But at the end of the day, our goal is to make an impact, a long-term impact on traders, and to help traders reach their potential one way or another. And that's our effort, and that's our commitment to you. Good luck, everyone. Terry, thanks for having us on.
Yeah,
and
thanks, Terry.
We'll leave it here. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys, and have a good evening.
Cheers.
As well.